What is up, everybody? Boost Down GB here, coming at you, and today we are pointed at the ground again. No, today we got a nice bouquet. We're gonna screwdriver. We're gonna find some coolant hoses and possibly some coolant for the not this thing, but the Grand Prix. So I'll show you that junk ass thing in a little bit. Ooh, nice hose. It might be a little small. Might see what else I have. That bottom one looks good. Damn bucket doesn't fit. That's the usual thing. Is there anything in here? It doesn't look it. Well, I don't know. Find out. This shit's probably empty. So, did a little bit of work to the Grand Prix since the post, which you guys are just gonna have to like keep an eye on the community posts, I suppose. You know, I want to do a little more sneak peeky on what's happening when I just disappear for like a week or two sometimes. But 'cause I don't always have things to do. You know, there's a lot of things I want to do, but I don't want to just do them immediately. I don't know. I feel like stretching out the ideas is a little better. So I'm gonna have to two-hand this thing like a fucking $5. Horrible. Just horrible. Oh, hello. We're back. We got the thing drained. It is green, so that's good. There wasn't anything really in there. I should probably take this, but I don't have a wrench. Let's see. I'll show you. Maybe. Nope. Sometimes, if you give it a good twist, you can get the bolt loose. You don't need no tools for that. But you got some coolant hoses, and I actually really like this radiator shroud, fan shroud. Maybe we'll steal that later. But for now, we got what we've got. And let's go see where the fuck this thing is. There it is. Let's go see the Grand Prix. Well, here it is. It's an LE. It's actually, what's cool about this car is it was one checkbox away from being a 2+2. It has every other thing that the 2+2 would have had, just not the aero kit, which makes this thing kind of special to me. It's technically not a 2+2, but we're gonna make our own here. For the most part, a lot of it's still there. I have the plate to block that off. I have a bunch of firewall stuff to repair all that junk. I'm gonna just remove the plastic inner fender crap, and actually have a really good idea for a nose cone, because I want to make an aero coupe. Even though it's not gonna have no bubble back window, it doesn't really matter. You're never gonna find one that's, you know, junk like this one. But I have a windshield for it, seats, whole new floor, skin. Gonna pull the dashboard out. It's out of a Monte Carlo, but I don't have the original dash. I should have kept it in the car, but things happen when you're a young pile of shit. And a lot of things happen, like removing the trunk for whatever reason. Don't ask, don't remember what the hell I was on, but apparently it was pretty fucking good to wreck a perfectly good 86. But we're gonna bring it back as close as I can, but it's still gonna be a beater, because it is. I mean, look, it's always been a beater. It's the shit box. It was the whole idea of this thing way back in the day. But I'll show you what idea I have for the front end. So I'm sure you can go on the internet and scour for thousands and thousands of eons and find the front that you're looking for. But I don't think you're gonna find a 2+2 separate from the car. So we're going to, which I may or may not get shit for this, because technically I should use the same name brand, but I don't have one that is in the square shape. So we're going to be using an IROC nose cone, just the bumper, no fenders, no hood. I'm going to make that all fit from the Grand Prix stuff. So I figured because the fenders on the Grand Prix are already shortened a little bit, the hood might line up. Not really an Aero coupe, but pointy nose, you know, might be a little NASCAR inspired, because it's kind of what we're doing here. It's like a 90s, you know, basic, you know, like circle track car that, you know, your average buffoon would have ran way back in the day. Ooh, sneak peek of something way in the future, hopefully. Junk V6, but it might have a V8 someday. Anyway, so we're gonna put these hoses together and continue on. Well, here's what we got so far. Got the radiator support in there, got the oil cooler hooked up. We are gonna have the oil cooler this time. It is staying naturally aspirated for as long as I feel. It is ringed for boost, probably 30 pounds. It does have the internals for it, but it's like a 28 and a 30 on the ring gap, so it might be a little bit big, but I don't want to blow it apart like the last one I had. Got a Saginaw 3-speed. What is it, out of a 67 GMC straight 6 with hydraulic bell housing out of like an 80s GM truck. Solid motor mounts. The engine is actually set back probably a little more than an inch. If I'm actually looking at it now, it might be close to like an inch and a half. So got a little bit of weight distribution going on here. That means I also have to shorten the drive shaft, which is from the Malibu, an 82. The frame is an 84 Monte Carlo, and it's going to be the 86 Grand Prix afterwards. But a lot of parts I've had over the years. I've always been G-body fan, so a lot of this shit I've kind of squirreled around and stockpiled. Let's see what we got. Probably won't get to it this video, so I want to put the clutch in. Fancy tubular crap, you know, it's just knockoff stuff, but seems like it'll work pretty good. Also got to get the shifter assembly out of the vehicle that the transmission was in, my Nissan truck. Got to time the engine, do some clamps here and there on the fuel lines, put the hose clamps on the radiator stuff here, which everything fits. We got up and forward headers. I think they're CX Racing. Had them quite a while, and they're reduced down to 2.5 inch. They both merge out to this side, and they have muffler inserts, because this thing was pretty loud without them. Not this engine, but the previous one I had. This one should have like a 560, 570 lift once it's all said and done. The last motor had like a 480 maximum. So this thing should have some pretty good snap. And it's running on a 2-barrel Holley. The XP, well, not running yet, but hopefully it runs pretty good. I don't remember what the specs are for jet sizes and all that. I worked it over, but it's also missing the squirter, so there might be some crap missing inside. So I gotta look at that. It's It's got a super damper on it, so it should not have any problems. It's a fully forged rotating assembly. It's pretty snazzy. 40 over, forged piston, blah 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 blah. So it should be pretty good. I have to space the water pump pulley out a little bit because the crankshaft is a little longer. I think it's an aftermarket crankshaft. I don't know, it's all used. Everything besides the piston heads are 100% used in this engine. Obviously the bearings are brand new as well, but all that other shit is that. So I suppose I can yank the transmission out and hook the clutch up and then slap that back in, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. So let me do that. So one thing we have to do is replace that little spinny thing in there, pilot bushing, because it's a needle bearing and them things are junk. Fuck them things. So you jam a bunch of grease in there. Probably plenty, because it's pushing out. Get rid of that thing somewhere. Then you got an actual thing. Probably could put some more grease in there. You need something to smash with. Alright, I didn't show any of the process of doing that, but you can find it on the internet a lot of places. So, we got these things over there. These are better. I like them better. So, one side's flat, one side's got a taper. You want to put the taper on the outside. And make sure you get it on there pretty good. Again, I'm probably not going to show you this, but you can put this in and tap it, or you can go around it with a socket or something. I'll probably do this because it works the same. So, well, that's in. It might be a little too far in. It's not much. It's a little lip. Big deal. So now we're going to get the clutch and get this thing all squared away. Hello. New clutch. Fancy, fancy. Yeah, I should probably put this in. Oh, this thing looks stupid. I'm not putting that in. We're going to just use the original one. Doesn't say engine or flywheel side, so I assume it's this way. Okay, so you're going to want to get your little ramrod here. And set it up like that. Let me get it positioned and come back to you. Well, that's bolted on all the way. No more junk. So let's put the transmission back on, and that should be that for that. See, that solves that. Transmission in. So at least put a bolt in or something so it can't fall back out. Probably wouldn't. I need to find another bolt because I'm missing the one behind the little cylinder thingy. So this thing should be all set. Timing once they bolt this in, and yeah, we'll we gotta do some measurings, which I don't really know what to do with that because I can't read, so just throw that away and hope for the best. No, I can read. Just directions don't mean shit because they say to bottom it out. It's bottomed out. Don't even need this collar. Think you might actually need that collar. Unless you want variable timing, put it on a freaking little hose cord. Meep. Done. Variable. Like the old school days. Oh, who am I kidding? I can't stay mad at you. Come here. So I guess this collar goes something like there. And I think it goes on this one, actually. I don't know. Actually, there. You're gonna want to crush this a little bit, so if I we're not going to use the washer, we're going to use no washer and then set it up wherever it wants to sit. And set that thing, and then when you put the washer in, it should have enough spacing underneath, I guess. 20 minutes into looking for a goddamn Allen key that is going to fit the freaking Gajimo. We got it set up. We're going to just put the washer in. Get some of this junk. Figure out how to open it, for one. Don't get any ideas there, sport. A little spillage there. Easy now. Oh boy. Should be pretty good. Well, let's see if we have crank. And I gotta be careful because that thing's turning a little bit. But it turns. Let me get something to tighten this. Sounds pretty strong. Just gonna tighten this a little bit. That's not in the right spot, but well, it sounds pretty good. I don't know if that's gonna be fast enough. It should be. Seems like it'll be fine. Well, now I want to see where that's going to be, compression for this, and maybe we can get it dialed in. I don't know what else I feel like doing right now. That's pretty good. Everything's kind of in there, and the clutch is ready. oil the water. Well, I need this hose right here. I'm probably not gonna have heat in the Grand Prix, but have to route that. I need something here for that because that's just gonna fly off. This thing is not hooked up. The fuel line, obviously, plug wires. The body is obviously not on it as well, but that's gonna happen sometime. Once they get the, actually I'm not gonna do the drive shaft until the body's on because you want to make sure it's got some compression on the suspension so it doesn't just whatchamacallit, uh you know, once you put the weight on it, oh crap, it's bottoming out because I'm an ass. So that's probably one of the last things I'm gonna do. And then even so, after the body's on, I'm probably not gonna upgrade the suspension until some other time when I can make that into a video on itself, like making the G-body dirt car handle superior than it ever has been, or some shit like that. Oh, and look at that. Well, you might not be able to see it, but it's a manual steering box, so it's out of the Malibu. So that should be a little better than a power steering, or at least a little less horsepower robbing. So this thing should be pretty stout once I'm ripping it. It's got 342s in it with a posi unit. I'm not sure if I mentioned that already. So it might be a little long-legged, especially with the Saginaw. We'll find out. Hopefully I can keep it in second gear around the bog, and should hammer pretty good once it's laid open. Or laid on, whatever you want to see. Don't matter. What else we got that I could possibly get involved in right now? I'll come up with something. Well, I believe it's timed properly. Can't exactly feel any air coming out of that cylinder port, number one. So I might have the rockers in the wrong spot. But I don't give a shit because when I checked it on the distributor, it's lined up on 0, and that's where I set it, so that must be something. If it's 180 out, I don't care, to be honest with you, because it's just flipped the thing. Not really a big deal at this point. So just measuring some plug wires to put them on. Hopefully we don't get it 180 out this time. Well, with our plug routing and such. So, is that 8? You need number 8, so it's gonna be shorty. What do we got here? Probably this one. Does it even have a number? Looks like number 7. Where is number supposed 8? Oh, maybe it's missing from here. 8 is supposedly this one. Well, I'm gonna slap these wires on and see what happens. Oh, oops. Got everything on the this piece. So nothing hooked up yet. I still want to make sure the rockers are all good and seal the exhaust up. I have these things, whatever, you can see them right there, gaskets. And here's the fancy part about this whole rig. Let's see. This is what makes this whole thing straight up circle track. This is a freaking custom airbox. This thing is sick. Absolutely killer. This thing was homemade by some guy who did sheet metal work or tin work, like for roofing, as a profession, but he also drag raced and shit, did street racing, so he made this for his Malibu. And I think it'll look sick with a cowl hood on a Grand Prix. And it'll be kind of NASCAR-esque, or, you know, close to it. I think it looks pretty cool. And it's actually done really well. Like, this guy kind of knew what he was doing, because it's like nice and even, not all shitted up, and it looks fucking cool. It's probably gonna sound cool too. All intake noise, I bet you. That'll be pretty outrageous. 7,500 RPM. So anyway, that's probably it for this video. I'm kind of done working on this thing. There's a few other things I could do, but small things. I don't know. We'll see about getting the body on in the next video or something like that. I still have to get back to the green truck Pine Needle and do the cab swap, so we'll see. Between this and that, we got some content. Vladdy boy, I have to do some transmission work to him. The selector gear gasket is gone, so it likes to lose a lot of its fluid when you beat the crap out of it, so that's a problem. And transmission fluid in these parts is gold, so gotta save every drop. So anyway, you'll see more of this thing, so do what you do. Thanks for your support.